Jimin, a BTS member known for his warm nature and genuine care for those around him, is back in the limelight after a heartwarming story was revealed from behind the scenes. The story begins with the staff working at Jungkook's training site, who unexpectedly witness how Jimin repeatedly comes quietly without publicity, without cameras, and without the media spotlight, just to give his best friend direct support. No official announcement, no Instagram post showing off the moment, everything was done discreetly, as if Jimin just wanted to make sure Jungkook felt his presence at the most crucial moment. Some of the staff who saw the moment even admitted that they almost shed tears, because it is rare that there is an artist who, despite being as busy as Jimin, still sets aside time to attend for the sake of his friend, without expecting anything in return. Sources on site recounted that Jimin often came in the evening, when most of the crew was already home. He walked in without saying much, only greeting some of the staff who were still working, then headed to the training room where Jungkook was training alone. Sometimes, Jimin just sat in the corner of the room, watching his best friend repeat the dance moves many times, or fiddling with the vocal notes he was practicing. Not infrequently, Jimin gave small input, but always in a warm and constructive way. He never came to criticize, he came to support. Even if he gives advice, it makes people feel appreciated, said one of the staff who saw the moment. Jimin's presence not only provides additional energy for Jungkook, but also a great motivation for the crew. Many felt that the two's relationship reflected such a genuine bond of brotherhood, something rarely seen in an entertainment industry full of pressure and competition. A lighting crew even revealed, "When I saw the two of them in the rehearsal room, it was like seeing two old friends supporting each other. No ego, no distance, just complete trust." It's little moments like that that make the staff feel touched and respect them both even more. What makes this story even more touching is the fact that Jimin himself is in the midst of an incredible rush with his personal schedule. However, instead of just focusing on his work, he chose to take the time to come regularly. Some of the staff estimated that Jimin had been doing this for weeks, and only this time it was revealed to the public. When asked why he didn't publicize his presence, a close source said, Jimin didn't want this to be content. He just wanted to make sure Jungkook knew that he wasn't alone. That's all. Jungkook, who is known to be a perfectionist in preparing for each of his performances, seems to be really helped by Jimin's presence. According to the testimony of the crew, Jungkook's facial expression always changed every time he saw Jimin enter the room. His eyes immediately lit up. Even if he is exhausted, suddenly his energy is filled again, said one of the staff. Those moments, while simple, provide a kind of emotional strength that makes the grueling training process feel lighter. Not only that, Jimin also often brings little things that he knows will make Jungkook smile, from his favorite drink, light snacks, to a hoodie that is comfortable to wear during training. There was one moment told by a crew member, when Jimin came with a thick jacket because he knew the training room that night felt colder than usual. He came in and said, "I know you must have forgotten your jacket," and immediately put it on Jungkook. It was not only a concern, but it really showed how deeply he knew Jungkook, the official said. The staff also said that Jimin's presence often dilutes the tense atmosphere in the training room. Jungkook, who sometimes gets frustrated when the movements or tones he trains are not perfect, becomes more relaxed and smiles after Jimin arrives. In fact, sometimes the two joked in between rehearsals, making everyone in the room laugh along. A crew member admitted that such moments, on the contrary, give positive energy, which has a huge impact on the quality of the workout as a whole. The atmosphere immediately changed. From what was stiff and serious, it became warmer and more pleasant, he said. This story spread by word of mouth among the staff, until it was finally leaked to the media. Many soldiers who heard the news were moved and proud, flooding social media with praise for Jimin. Hashtags such as #Jimin for Jungkook and #BestFriendGoals immediately trended on Twitter, with thousands of comments praising Jimin's sincere attitude. "She is the definition of a true friend," wrote one user. Another wrote, "Jimin is not only a member of BTS, he is also a family member for Jungkook." Entertainment industry observers argue that this kind of relationship is invaluable, especially in the notoriously stressful world of K-pop. The presence of a friend who can provide selfless emotional support is an invaluable asset, says one music critic. He added that little things like this often have a big impact on an artist's mentality and spirit, especially ahead of a big project or a challenging comeback. However, Jimin still prefers not to talk about this in public. Even when this issue began to be discussed, he only smiled when asked by fans. His humble attitude makes this story even more touching. He didn't do it to get praise. He does it because he cares, commented one of the staff who knew Jimin for quite some time. For many, this story is a reminder that behind the stage spotlight and the glitter of the entertainment industry, there is a real and genuine human connection. That sometimes, the greatest support doesn't come in the form of sweet words or massive publicity, but through simple actions taken consistently. And Jimin, with all his fame and busyness, chose to be present in those small but meaningful moments. Now, fans can only hope that stories like this continue to be part of BTS' journey. Because in the midst of all their great achievements, it is these moments of humanity that really make them special. The story of Jimin, who always comes quietly to Jungkook, is not just a story about friendship, but also about the sincerity, warmth, and values that make their relationship so precious to each other, and to the millions who love them. Some of the staff who have worked with BTS for a long time admit that what Jimin does is actually not new to him. They say, since the beginning of his debut, Jimin is known as a person who has an instinct to pay attention to others, even for very small things though. However, this time they considered it more special because the situation was different. Jungkook is in a period of tremendous physical and mental demands, and this kind of support definitely makes a big difference. There are many people who can give encouragement through messages or calls, but Jimin chooses to be physically present, even if it means sacrificing his rest time, said one of the managers involved in setting their schedule. Several other crew members also told that Jimin sometimes came without telling Jungkook first. Jungkook's reaction when he realized it was always the same, a big smile, then walking quickly to Jimin and hugging him for a while before returning to training. It was a short moment, but it was clear that the hug had a big meaning. As if Jimin was saying, "I'm here for you," without having to say it, said one of the stage staff. According to her, that's what makes their relationship so special. They don't always need to talk a lot to understand each other. There is also a story about one night where Jungkook seemed frustrated because the training didn't go well. Several times he stopped the music and repeated the movement, his face looking full of pressure. At that time, Jimin entered the room with 2 glasses of warm drink. He did not immediately reprimand or ask what was wrong. He just sat on the floor, patted the spot next to him, and gestured for Jungkook to sit down for a while. Jungkook obeyed, took the drink, and the two just sat in silence for a few minutes. According to one of the eyewitnesses, the moment completely changed Jungkook's mood. Afterwards, he returned to training more calmly, even managing to finish a choreography that had previously frustrated him. For staff, seeing those interactions is a reminder that emotional support is sometimes far more influential than verbal motivation or competitive encouragement. Jimin didn't come to force Jungkook to try harder. He came to remind Jungkook that he is not alone, said a technical crew member. In fact, some of them admitted that they began to apply the same principle in their personal lives, to provide unconditional support to the closest people, just like Jimin did.